Hey, my name is Abby Mahon, and I'm going to be talking about the importance of organizational culture in an organization. So to start off with, what is organizational culture? So organizational culture is a company's way of thinking and acting and understanding work shared by the members of an organization. This helps a company reflect on their identity as a whole, on figuring out who they are and what they want to do and how they want to do it. It is how a company relates to other entities outside of their organization as well. It's a description of how a company handles both internal and external affairs. Internal affairs, meaning inside the company, the employees and how the company is running. External affairs, meaning kind of a broad range of things from media to marketing, government relations, fundraising, all of those things kind of outside of the company. This can help a company form customer service guidelines based on where they are located. And a little more specifically, how companies form guidelines and help their employees better relate their company to the competition around them, and then again, relate to the people they are serving in their area. So there are four main structures that uphold organizational culture. Number one being roles. Responsibilities and behaviors expected of people because of their company position. So where you are matters, and where you are, you have a certain thing to do in order to keep the company successful. Kind of below that, rules. So pattern ways of interaction. These are things that you need to do, again, to keep the company successful. These pattern ways of doing things, making sure that every time you do it, it's successful. Also policies, so these are formal statements of practices that reflect and uphold the culture of an organization. These are set in stone, written down policies that the people have to follow in order to keep that organizational culture that the company is striving for, and again, to keep it successful. Also, communication networks. A network of communication that links members of an organization together, whether that is formal or informal, whether being familiar or kind of unfamiliar, to better describe that as well. So there are many factors that affect organizational culture. Number one being political. Kind of on a larger scale, we have a federal government that creates laws and regulations that you have to follow no matter who you are. Very obviously, you have to follow these in order to keep your company successful as well. Kind of on a smaller scale, you have local governments wherever you are, and they're not going to be the same wherever you are. So making sure you're not only following the federal rules, but the local government rules as well. Also, in competition with other organizations, it can get a little political as well. So making sure that your organizational culture there follows that and follows those rules correctly. Number two being economic. So if the economy is doing bad, that means your company most likely will too. If people don't have money, they aren't going to buy your product, or they're going to look for a cheaper product elsewhere in your competition. Also, on the opposite, when the economy is doing very well and people do have money that they want to spend and invest, making sure that your company is following the economy, making adjustments where needed in order to make their company successful, where they have people buying their product as well. Number three being the industry. So as mentioned earlier, you're going to have competitors, other organizations that are doing very similar things to you or the same thing as you are doing. You need to adjust your company culture to ensure that longevity of your company. You want your company to be the one to last out of all the similar ones around it. Number four being technology. Technology is constantly changing. It changes almost every day. And so it is very important for your company to be successful that you are adapting to those technological changes as well. Ensuring the success of your company by keeping your company updated on the newest technology or the best that you can as well to better suit the people you're serving. Number five being social. So what people think of your company matters. If people don't like your company, they're not going to buy anything from it. Do your best to please the public by community outreach. You can do this by having diversity as well, making sure you're making the people happy. So I do have an example of organizational culture, that being the shoe company Zappos. So in some research about their website, they are famous kind of like for a wacky, fun employee environment. This is kind of more of like an internal factor. They have journals where they let their own employees share their stories and success stories. They even give new employee hires $2,000 to begin with, and the means to quit whenever they would like to on good terms. When you create that organizational culture within your company, these employees have fun when they work, they are treated very well, and that relays to the outside, to the external as well. They are knowledgeable about what they are doing. They send them on a 3-day kind of retreat to learn about the company and to have fun and get to know people, so they know what they're doing and they're having fun while they're doing it. Again, relaying that to the external factors as well. On my last slide, I have my references for my research done, and I appreciate you listening. Thank you.